3 weeks before my wedding, my fiancé stopped answering my calls. Not completely, just enough to make me nervous. The woman who normally replied within minutes suddenly took hours, sometimes half a day. Her messages became shorter, colder. At first, I blamed wedding stress. Then I noticed something worse. Whenever I mentioned my parents, she changed the subject. Every time. I asked if something was wrong. She said no. I asked if we needed to talk. She said she was tired. I asked if she still wanted to get married. There was a pause before she answered. Of course. That pause haunted me. For 2 years, Emily and I had never hidden anything from each other. We survived layoffs, family drama, and long-distance work assignments. So why did it suddenly feel like she was keeping a secret? The answer arrived 4 days later. My mother called. I think Emily deserves the truth. The truth? What truth? A long silence followed. Then she said something that made absolutely no sense. You should have told her about your daughter. I nearly drove off the road. My what? My mother hung up. I called back immediately. No answer. Then my father texted. You can't hide the past forever. I stared at the screen. At first I laughed. Then I realized neither of them was joking. Because I didn't have a daughter. I never had. Not secretly. Not publicly. Not at all. So why were they acting like I did? And more importantly, what had they told Emily? When I finally reached her that night, she sounded exhausted. I asked directly, what did my parents tell you? She hesitated. They said something happened years ago. What? They said you left a child behind. I nearly dropped the phone. A child that doesn't exist. Emily didn't answer. That hurt more than anything. Because for the first time since we'd met, she wasn't sure she believed me. The next 2 weeks became a nightmare. My parents refused to explain themselves. Every conversation ended with vague statements. You know what we're talking about. The truth always comes out. You should stop pretending. Pretending what? I genuinely had no idea. The stranger part was that my parents seemed completely convinced. Note manipulative. Not sarcastic. Convinced. As if they believed every word. That realization terrified me. Had someone lied to them? Had they mistaken me for someone else? Neither possibility made sense. Then another strange thing happened. An envelope appeared in my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a photograph. A little girl standing beside a playground. Nothing unusual except for one detail. Someone had circled her face in red marker. On the back were 3 words. You know her. I didn't. At least I didn't think I did. I stared at that picture for hours. The girl looked vaguely familiar, but I couldn't place her. A cousin? A neighbor? Someone from school? Nothing fit. When I showed Emily, she went pale. Your parents showed me this too. That changed everything. Because now I knew someone was orchestrating something. Someone wanted us looking at that girl. But why? The closer the wedding got, the stranger things became. More photos appeared. Different ages. Different locations. Always the same girl. Always anonymous. Always with cryptic notes. Remember. Look closer. You already know. I became obsessed. I searched old yearbooks. Old family albums. Social media. Nothing. Yet every picture triggered the same feeling. Not recognition. Almost recognition. Like a memory buried beneath another memory. The rehearsal dinner arrived before I found answers. By then, the wedding felt less like a celebration and more like an investigation. Emily was trying to stay positive. I was trying not to lose my mind. And my parents? They sat across the room, looking strangely confident, as if they knew something I didn't. Halfway through dinner, the restaurant doors opened. A young woman entered. Maybe 22, 23. The room fell silent. My mother immediately stood up. There she is. I looked around. Everyone seemed confused except my parents. The young woman slowly approached our table. Then she looked directly at me and smiled. Not warmly, not coldly, knowingly. I had never seen her before. At least that's what I thought. My father pulled out a chair. The woman sat down. No one spoke. Finally, my mother broke the silence. Tell them. The woman nodded. Then she reached into her purse. What she placed on the table wasn't a birth certificate, or adoption papers, or DNA results. It was an old photograph. A photograph I'd never seen, at least not consciously. The picture showed a hospital room from more than 20 years earlier, a newborn baby, a young woman holding her, and standing beside the bed was my father. Not me, my father. The room became very quiet. Then the young woman spoke. My mother died 6 months ago. Nobody moved. Before she died, she gave me a box and told me to find him. She pointed. Not at me. At my father. The blood drained from his face. Suddenly, every clue rearranged itself inside my head. The photos, the notes, the strange familiarity, the age, everything. The young woman continued. My mother worked for your family's business 23 years ago. My father looked like he couldn't breathe. My entire life she told me my father never wanted to meet me. The room exploded into whispers. Emily grabbed my hand. I couldn't speak. Because the secret wasn't about me. It never had been. My parents hadn't been accusing me of abandoning a child. My mother had spent months secretly investigating rumors she discovered after finding old financial records and hidden correspondence. She suspected someone in the family had abandoned a child, but she never knew who. Then anonymous photos started arriving. The same photos I'd been receiving. Someone else had been trying to expose the truth too. My mother convinced herself the child must be mine because the timeline roughly matched a period when I'd been away at college. She built an entire theory around a false assumption. The real answer was something she never imagined. The child belonged to the man sitting beside her, her husband. The young woman turned to my father. You've spent 23 years pretending I don't exist. No one moved. No one spoke. My father lowered his head. And for the first time that night, he didn't deny it. The rehearsal dinner ended without speeches, without dessert, without celebration. My parents' marriage ended 3 months later. Emily and I still got married. But the strangest part wasn't discovering my father's secret daughter. It was realizing every clue had pointed there from the beginning. The photos always felt familiar because she had my father's eyes. The anonymous messages weren't accusing me. They were trying to make someone look deeper. And the story my parents told Emily? It was never a lie. It was a mistake. They were chasing a ghost. And in the process, they uncovered a secret that had been buried for 23 years. A secret that belonged to someone else entirely.